Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So as promised, I'm bringing you guys an update on my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. So like before, this is actually a balance between my Synchro and Fusion variant. Only now I decided to work around my deck once again and this time add some new text to this choice. Because especially from the new cards that came out in Chaos Impact, there were a couple dragons that actually caught my attention that really help out, just basically bring out rank 8s even faster. And honestly, it's almost as good as the Dangers. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of the Danger cards, so I'm not actually running them. But it also helps me utilize cards like Chaos Emperor Dragon, just to bring out a free body on board. I can still bring back my tech like Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. That's just a secret tech, just as a form of disruption in a way. So I just thought I'd show you guys what I got this time around. Alright, so starting off with the main deck, gotta play 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's the heart and soul in the entire deck, so you definitely gotta run this at 3. Same with his counterpart, Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. The fact that he counts as Blue Eyes White Dragon is great, and it's also amazing for the fusion material for Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. And this card also pops a card for free, so not much else to say about that. Next, 1 Dragon Spirit of White, of course. Definitely got to run that. I'm only playing 2 copies of Sage this time. It searches out your level 1 light tuners, like your Stones or your Effect Veiler, but for what I have in mind, there are certain restrictions with what I got to run, so that's why I'm only bumping down my Sage to just 2. So he's just there whenever I really need him. Of course, 2 copies of Whitestone of Ancients. You got a couple targets for that, so definitely need to run it. And of course, the 1 Whitestone of Legend. So just to get access to your Blue Eyes White Dragons even faster. Alright, so now for my tech options. I'm actually running 1 copy of Nebula Dragon. You reveal 1 other level 8 dragon in your hand, special summon this card, and the one you targeted, both in defense mode. Of course, the monster's effects is going to be negated, but what's cool about that is that this is a level 8 dragon. So, again, free rank 8 plays, also free link climbing. So, the only downside is that you can only summon light and or dark dragons for the duration of this turn. So, again, it's for the rest of the turn, so it doesn't do it for the entire turn. So, if you can time this card just right, you shouldn't have any problems with it. 1 Galaxy Spiral Dragon. So this is actually a secondary version of this card. This card is in your hand or in your graveyard. As long as you control 2 or more light or dark dragon monsters, you can special summon this card for free. Another level 8 body. And also, during your main phase, you can make all monsters you control level 8s until the end of the turn. But of course, if you use this grave or hand effect, you have to banish it. But if you're going to use it for rank 8 materials, you can bypass everyone and basically just use this card multiple times. So, yeah. Of course, another one of my tech options, it's Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. The reason I like to run this is because I'm running the Galaxy Eyes Link Monster too, so it's pretty good. And the fact that, if you bring it out with Hieratic Soul, even though his attack and defense will be 0, if you use his effect during the battle phase, he'll regain all his stats once he comes back, so that's really good. And then last but not least, 1 Chaos Emperor Dragon, since I am running a few darks in this deck. Again, just a free body on board, so figured why not. And it's also searchable through Melody of the Awakening Dragon. I forgot to mention that. Same with Galaxy Eyes. Alright, so for hand traps, I'm actually only running 4 in this deck. I'm running 2 copies of DD Crow because it's actually really good in this format. And it's a dark too. So once I'm done with it, you can bring it out with cards like Chaos Emperor Dragon. Next, 2 copies of Effect Veiler. Same situation. It's searchable. It's a light monster, so if you want to banish 1 light and 1 dark, these 2 are viable targets. It's, I don't have a way to recur them, unfortunately, so yeah. And that's pretty much it for my monster lineup. Now we're moving on to spells. For spells, I'm running 3 copies of Melody of the Awakening Dragon. Just search out any dragon-type monster with 3,000 or more attack with 2,500 or less defense. And you got plenty of targets for that. Triple trade-in. We got a bunch of level 8, so might as well make full advantage of that. 3 Return of the Dragon Lords. Same thing. Got a bunch of level 8s, so definitely want to use this card at its full potential. 2 Shrine, definitely want to try to get some of your dragons to the graveyard since we are running cards like Dragon's Mirror. As well as Foolish Burial. Which comes to our next card. 2 copies of Dragon's Mirror for fusion summoning. The only 1 polymerization just because, it's easy to dig it out, especially if you're playing cards like Trade-In for draw power, so I figured just 1 would be fine. I'd rather see Dragon's Mirror more. For 1 Os, 1 for 1, and of course Monster Reborn. And that's it for the spells. Now, gotta move on to the traps. For traps, I'm only running 3. I'm running 2 copies of Ultimate Creature of Destruction just because it has self-recursion. And also because I don't have a bingo machine, so that's why I'm not running the third anyway. So I think 2 is just perfectly fine. And of course I'm running the 1 skill drain. Since, you know, Blue Eyes White Dragon's a normal monster, skill drain will not affect you by any means. But, you know, if I ever do get a bingo machine, I'll definitely run a 3rd copy of Ultimate Creature. Alright, so for the extra deck, I'm only running 3 Link monsters. Got the Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spheres for disruption, bounces back cards, and digs out your deck for any dragon you want. 1 Galaxy Eye Soul Flare Dragon. If it's Link Summon, you know, using the... you can target 1 Photon Galaxy or Galaxy monster in your grave and add it to your hand. So you basically recycle your Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. And of course, during your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you can discard 1 Photon Galaxy or Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. Target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls and destroy it. So it's a good way just to, like, prevent your opponent from extending. So good way to have recursion and, you know, just for free pluses. And of course, can't have a Blue Eyes deck without Link Rebo. So yeah, that's it. Alright, so for my Xyz package, I'm running the Galaxy Eye Cypher Dragon, Full Armor Photon, of course, Cypher Blade Dragon, and of course, Hope Harbinger. I was going to run Photon Lord, but again, the restrictions are there with the new tech cards, and plus, it's a warrior type monster. If it was Dragon, I would have ran that no problem. But if you end up using that effect before you even get a chance to bring that monster out, it can be kind of tricky. So that's why I'm like, nah, I'll just leave it out. I'll just run the basic Galaxy Eyes package. So, yeah. Alright, for my synchros, I'm running 2 copies of Blue Eye Spirit Dragon. This is really strong against pendulums. So, there's no reason not to run that. And plus, you know, his ability to negate graveyard effects is amazing. And secondly, you can tag out for any light synchro monster as long as it's dragon type. So, yeah. Which comes to our next card, the Zero Eye Silver Dragon. Everybody knows what that does. And Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. And then from here on out, it's just the fusion monsters. I'm running 2 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon, Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, and of course, one of my personal favorites, Twin Burst Dragon, just because he can't be destroyed in battle. Alright, so side deck is pretty standard actually. I'm running 3 copies of Artifact Lancia to deal with Orcus and Thunder players, Denko Sekka to deal with back row heavy strategies. I feel like this card was citable, Called by the Grave, you know. It usually depends on the matchup. If it's a deck that likes to run like a whole lot of hand traps, then I definitely want to run this. Because like combo decks don't run a lot of hand traps, so that's why I'm not running this in the main deck. But if it's a deck that's like very control heavy, they're definitely going to be running like tons of hand traps. So like it just depends on the matchup. I'm also running Twin Twisters. This card was actually working out quite a bit when I was testing it out, so D-Barrier is still not a bad option. You could also run cards like Royal Decree, but just keep in mind you will lose your trap cards if you play that, so I felt like D-Barrier was one of the better options. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I will catch you guys again next time.